When I was at the ashram, my teacher, she would invite us to return our attention to the mystical experiences that we had when we would chant or be meditating or through the various types of practices. Anytime we had a mystical experience, she would emphasize to us that there's a very natural way that you can return to the energy imprint that mystical experience leaves within the field of consciousness. Every mystical experience that we have leaves an energy imprint, an energy impression, like a doorway, a portal. And she would refer to an ancient text called the Pratyabhijñā-hṛdayam, and it's a collection of 20 sutras, wisdom offerings from the ancient lineages. And in Sutra 19 of those 20 sutras, that's what's revealed in that sutra, is to return your attention over and over again, they would say in that sutra, bhūyō bhūyash, over and over again, to the energy imprint of your expanded experiences, your mystical experiences, because it leaves a beneficial energy in the field of consciousness, like a doorway, a portal. So she would invite us to return to those. And she would say, if you're with someone and all of a sudden one of those moments comes up into your awareness, to share it. It lets that energy be into the field. So when we have these expanded experiences of the larger perspective of reality, it is like a doorway, a portal. So we can return to that and rest in that, be available without any expectations. We can return to it. Our breath can be long and slow. We return to it. And then we see there may be more that's revealed. There may be more that's experienced. This is a natural way, one of the many natural ways of shifting our attention. In every moment, what we experience is determined by where we're putting our attention. If we let our attention be available to those expanded experiences, we can open back up into that and directly experience it. In every moment, it's all a play of attention. If we let our attention get pulled into worry, then we experience through the perspective of worry. If we let our attention get pulled into regret, we experience through the perspective of regret. If we let our attention be available to wonder, then we experience through the perspective of wonder. all the various ways, it's all a play of perspectives. In every moment, we can realize this, and we can then Namah, that beautiful Sanskrit invitation, Namah. That's the shifting of our attention. That's the surrendering our attention, the giving ourselves over to the divine, permeating everyone and everything. The Shakti river is always flowing. The Shakti, the flowing essence of reality that's always here. We can be available to that when we Namah, when we rest back, when we shift our attention back and rest into that inherent magnificence of reality that's always here amidst everything, in everyone, in everything, at all times. And the practices that we are invited into in the ancient lineages are all ways of shifting our attention. When we do the name, that, thought practice, we're shifting our attention back instead of getting pulled into the thought, because we're not trying to stop the thoughts. They're welcome to come when we do the name, that, thought practice. But if a thought does start to rise up, we notice it, we name the thought, and then we shift our attention back to resting in presence. And the thought then is not where we put our attention. We're not trying to stop the thoughts. We name the thought, we rest back. Notice we're making a choice. We're choosing to rest back in presence rather than to go on that ride that thought might take us on. We're resting back in presence. We do that over and over and over. We start changing the habit of our attention. where we are more likely to not get pulled into those thoughts. Let's say it's a worry thought or a self-deprecating thought where we're saying things about being unworthy or not good enough. Or let's say it's a judgmental thought or a controlling thought or a guilt thought or a shame or a regret. All the different types of thoughts that can create trouble for us. We don't have to give our attention to those. We can name them, rest back, and choose to rest in presence. Our divine nature, the inner self. That's a Namah regarding thought. We Namah, we rest back. Instead of choosing the thought, we rest back. When we do the living practice, what do we do there? We honor what we're feeling. It's so important to honor our feelings, to allow ourselves to feel our feelings. So we honor the feeling. We notice, where do I feel it in my body? Do I feel it in the gut? Is it in the heart? Is it in the throat? Is it in the head? Where is it in the body? We honor our feeling. We allow it to be directly experienced. We let it flow. And there's also what we are that is aware of the feeling. Notice what we're doing when we do the living practice. We're letting ourselves directly experience the feeling without getting pulled into this misunderstanding that that's all we are. The feeling is real. It's an expression of the Shakti, a contraction of the Shakti. That's where these feelings come from. Whenever things in life don't go how our wanter wants them to go, that's what creates these rough emotions like, sadness and anger and frustration and annoyance and regret, disappointment, dissatisfaction. All of those come when something in life didn't go how we wanted it to go, or someone wasn't being how we wanted them to be. All of those come from our wanter, wanting something to be different than it is. When those happen, we honor it. We don't pretend we're not having feelings. It's okay to feel how we feel. It's normal to have feelings. It's part of our experience. It's part of the waves that we ride. And then we rest back and we remember, oh, that's right, I'm also the awareness of this feeling. And then we expand out into the awareness of the feeling. The feeling, which is an expression of the Shakti, a contraction of the Shakti, then uncontracts all on its own. We're not needing to figure that out or solve it or have any agenda. We just let it flow and we're resting back into the awareness of the feeling. Once again, it's a play of attention. Notice how we're, once again, Namah. We're doing the Namah. We're resting back, letting this be as it is without any agenda, without trying to control it or change it or figure it out or solve it. Now, bring in the loving blessing practice. What are we doing when we do the loving blessing practice? We're bringing in a person or an animal that we can feel unconditional love, and we're letting that love that we are be shared to them. Look what you're doing with your attention there. You're bringing your attention to the love that you are, and you're letting the love that you are be liberated. Liberating this love we are into the world, toward other beings. And when we're doing that practice, if anybody comes in that we notice we're having a harder time sending the love to, we now face a choice. We either hold on to our grievance list that our wanter has created about them, that justifies, that our wanter thinks justifies the withholding for the things that they did, or we're able to let that grievance list go. If we can't let the grievance list go, that's okay. We don't judge ourselves. We just return our attention back to a being that we can beam love to. Round and round, we do the living practice, the name that thought practice, loving blessing practice. Little by little, we start changing the habit of our attention to where we're more and more resting back into our divine nature, and then realizing that what we are, that essence, that flowing essence that we are, is in everyone and everything. We start to realize that that divinity that we are, that wholeness, that flowing essence of loveliness that we are, is also what everyone is also what everything is. There's only that flowing essence in everyone and everything at all times.